students, welcome to the channel Physics by IITians. So last time we are introducing to the laser. Okay, so today we will continue the laser lecture, that is lecture number 2. And we also have seen that for laser we need three things. One is the active medium, which is capable of population inversion, that is the higher state will be more populated than the lower energy state inside the medium, and the last one is the resonator, which will give me which will act as an oscillator and will give me a laser signal which is much larger than the incident one. So the laser, I told you that the very basic, from the basic thing, that concepts of laser, actually it was in Einstein mind first, and if you go back, before Einstein, the lasing action, to be precise, that the discoverer is the Max Planck. Okay, so from his quantum theory, that the transition is quantized. Whenever he gave the theory of blackbody radiation, so he told that the light is the transition, that is absorption or emission, is occurring, that is quantized, and which is and light energy is quantized. So E equals to h nu. So this is the very basic thing, that laser is then Einstein proposed in 1917 that the process that makes the laser possible, called the stimulated emission. Okay, this was in Einstein mind. How is it so? First we briefly talk about the history, then we will mathematically calculate and find out the Einstein statement, that he theorized that besides absorbing and emitting light spontaneously, electrons could be stimulated to emit light of a particular wavelength. So what does it mean? So we all know that light matter interaction, whenever light is incident on a medium, okay, the light can get absorbed by the medium. Means, suppose this is the energy level, ground state energy level E1, and the higher state is E2. So I am taking only two level system, where in this system you have only two energy levels. One is E1 and another is E2, and the population at level 1 is N1 and population at level E2 is N2. So whenever light is incident, if the energy difference E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu, that is the energy of the incident light. So the atom can absorb the incident light and will get excited, and it can go up to the excited state, that is E2. And this quantization of energy, this hypothesis is Max Planck hypothesis. So this is the basic physics behind the laser, is giving the discoverer is Max Planck. Now this is the spontaneous absorption, and another thing is spontaneous emission, that is whenever it is excited to an upper level, it cannot stay there for infinite time. It is unstable for the atom. So it will emit radiation of the exact frequency, that is h nu, and it can get back to its equilibrium state. Okay. Now there Einstein, in his mind, he proposed stimulated emission, and his arguments of stimulated emission was much more famous at that time, that is 1970, because at that time physicists usually think about, also Max Planck also thought that there should be the spontaneous emission, spontaneous absorption. I mean, atoms, electromagnetic wave, it is absorbing by the oscillators, atoms is thinking as an oscillator. Okay, so it will absorb the radiation, it will emit the radiation. This is, and both are spontaneous process. So Einstein gave the first theory that there should be stimulated emission to get the thermodynamic equilibrium. How is it so? We all know from the Planck spectral density of black body, spectral density calculation of a black body, at certain temperature T, it should be the function of nu and T. It is independent of the black body nature. So the spectral density of the black body at temperature T at a thermal equilibrium, which Max Planck was calculated, that is 2h nu cube by c square into 1 by e to the power h nu by kt minus 1. Now Einstein did the same calculation. How did it? To reach the Planck's Planck's formula from another point of view, from the atomics or numbers of the molecules point of view. At thermodynamic equilibrium, it is in terms of frequency. If I do in terms of the number of atoms, okay, what will be the equation? What will be the spectral energy distribution of the atoms inside that black body? So Einstein treated black body as two-level oscillator. So you have two levels, one is C1, another is C2, and he failed to get the Planck's result. Okay, this is the most important thing, that he calculated the spontaneous emission, he calculated the spontaneous absorption, and he tried to find out the spectral density in terms of N1, N2, and he failed to find it out. How is it so? You all know that the spontaneous emission, if the rate of change of spontaneous emission, that is spontaneous absorption, so it should be dN1 by d2 dt. So since it is decreasing in number, so minus dN1 by dt, it should be proportional to the number that is present in this state, that is ground state, and it should be also proportional to the incident energy density. Suppose it is UH. So this is the equation for the spontaneous absorption, and if I write the similar way the spontaneous emission equation, so it should be minus dN2 by dt, because this is the decay emission process from the upper level to lower level. This should be proportional to the only the number that is present at the level in E2, because it is independent of the incident radiation. So he took this process, and at equilibrium N2 dN2 by dt should be 0. I mean, there shouldn't be any number increase or decrease. The rate of absorption should be equal to the rate of emission. So the total number at this excited state must be equal to the total number at this ground state. There shouldn't be any change in the number of molecules in the atoms, in the levels. So dN2 by dt equals to 0. If we make this calculation, you cannot achieve the equation like this which Planck calculated for the thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, at the for the black body at thermodynamic equilibrium at any temperature T. Now Einstein proposed that there should be another emission, that is the stimulated emission. What is that? That if you have a light which have the frequency nu and which has energy h nu, and the atom is already in the excited state, and if this light is the in phase is incident on this atom, it can stimulate the atom, it can push the atom, or it can give force to the atom to come back to its the ground state. So atom will also radiate a frequency or light of frequency nu and energy h nu, and the incident radiation will also come out to be h nu. So from 1 h nu we will get 2 h nu. So the stimulated emission will give me the photons having the same energy and also the same direction, that is the k wave vector is same, and also the same phase, that is coherent, that is phi is identical. Some of you may have questioned that whenever there is incident radiation, there should be absorption. Why there should be stimulated emission? Yeah, at lower temperature there should be absorption, because at lower temperature most of the atoms are within the ground state. So there should be absorption. But at higher temperature, when atoms are already at the excited state, so stimulated emission will dominate than the absorption process. Okay, this is the physics behind the stimulated emission. Now how did Einstein calculated all the things? So for this have the proportionality, so he, for equally make it equal, we have to take some constant. So the constant for the absorption is B12 into N1 nu, and for the stimulated emission is A21. This is emission from the process 2 to 1. Absorption is from the process 1 to 2. So we write it in the equal coefficient as B12. This is A21, and for stimulated emission also we take that B21 into U nu. So A21 is the spontaneous emission, B21 is the stimulated emission, and B12 is the stimulated absorption, or is the normal absorption. Okay. So the thermodynamic equilibrium tells us that the total rate of absorption should be the total rate of emission. So whenever you make this total rate of absorption equals to total rate of emission. Means you take the three equations, that is spontaneous absorption, spontaneous emission, stimulated emission, and make it equal the total absorption equals to total emission. You get in terms of energy density, you will get that A21 divided by B21 into e to the power h nu by kT minus B12. Now look at the formula for Planck calculated for the thermodynamic equilibrium. You can have some similarity between the two formulas. When if B21 equals to B12, okay. So if B21 equals to B12, you can take common B21 or B12, and you will get e to the power h nu by kT minus 1. Okay. And another thing is that A21 by B21 equals to 2h nu cube by c square. That is this one. So obviously the both terms will be similar. So which was unable. If you just take two things, that is absorption, spontaneous absorption, and emission, you don't get the thermodynamic equilibrium energy density in this form unless until you take this stimulated emission concept. So Einstein was the founder of this concept that there should be some another process. There should be, he theorized that besides absorbing and emitting light spontaneously, electrons could be stimulated to emit light of a particular wavelength. Okay. And now you see that this A21 by B21 is equals to 2h nu cube by c square. Now A21 is the absorption, B21 is the stimulated emission. Okay. Because this is the spontaneous emission, sorry, A21 is the spontaneous emission and B21 is the stimulated emission. So this is for the spontaneous one and this is for the stimulated one. Now you all can have that when the laser action will happen. The laser action will only happen when the spontaneous emission will be less than the stimulated emission, or stimulated emission will be greater than the spontaneous emission. So this A21 should be less than B21, or this ratio A21 by B21 should be minimized. Now A21 by B21, when it will be minimized? This is proportional to the nu cube. So for lower nu means the light, the electromagnetic waves having lower frequency, this is already minimized. That you can have the stimulated emission greater than spontaneous emission. So laser can be easily done, I mean amplification can be easily done at lower frequency when nu is already lower. That's why before laser, Maser has come, because Maser is the microwave amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So microwave is the lower frequency, okay. So we can easily get amplification of the microwaves. Then scientists come to the light, that is with much larger frequency, that at that time it was difficult to get laser than Maser. Okay. So this is the physics behind this Einstein A by B coefficient, that it will tell you that A by B ratio should be minimized, and to be minimized it is also for lower frequency it is easier to be minimized the ratio, but for higher frequency it is difficult to get it to be minimized. So today we have learned that how laser can work. The laser can only work that whenever it is possible, whenever there is stimulated emission of radiation. Now at the normal lower frequency, absorption will dominate. At lower temperature, absorption will dominate. At higher temperature, stimulated emission can dominate. And the stimulated concept was introduced by Einstein for calculating the thermodynamic equilibrium of a cavity or of an oscillator, two-body problem, two-level oscillator problem, and he introduced the stimulated emission concept, and this is the main idea of the laser. So next time we will get much more ideas about laser, that how laser has come, what the things we have to do for population inversions, I mean what will be the properties of the active medium so that it can be capable of laser, what are the frequencies that we should get, how the frequency distributed in a laser frequency spectrum. So we will see you next time. We will look into this matter also. So friends, if you like this lecture, please like it, and if you think it is helpful, please share with your friends, and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.